Hey, it's Darlene. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm working on a layout. So I like to do what I call month in review layouts. And basically it's all these pictures that sure I could make a one-page layout over, but I prefer, because I don't really have a big significance or a big event, things like that. So I do a month in review. So basically this was in October of 2021. And I didn't want like your typical fall colors. So that's why I chose some of these. You know, there's that green plaid, there's the leaves because it is fall, but I really like that navy plaid as well. And of course, that brown wood grain. So I pointed out that something about it. There's in a world, I'm glad there's a world of Octobers or something like that. So I thought that fit well. So I decided to use a natural cardstock base, even though the papers have a white base. I thought I didn't care. I think it fits fine. So if you notice that, it is true. I'm using a natural color base and with white background paper. So anyhow, I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing because you know me, I usually work off sketches, and this time I just was kind of winging it. So I decided to cut, I believe it's 5.5 inch strips on this blue plaid because this was going to be my main paper, and I'm going to have that going all the way across, and then I'm cutting smaller strips of the leaf paper and also that green plaid. So this one looks like it's 1.5, and I believe I do 1 inch on the green, but basically I'm just going to be building up that middle strip. So I wasn't sure what I was doing with the brown wood stained paper or the wood, but you'll see that I end up doing a vertical strip on those. So anyhow, like I said, I wasn't really sure where I was putting the placement of the papers. I wasn't sure where I was putting the placement of the photos. So I'm really just kind of playing. I have a lot of pictures. Usually when I do month in review, I try to put everything on one layout. I had way too many pictures for that. As a matter of fact, there's one spot, and you'll see it towards the end, that I'm going to be adding another 4x6 photo, but I haven't had that printed yet. So but you'll see that when I do the mat. So I put a mat there instead, just to kind of as a placeholder. So again, I'm just kind of messing around. What am I going to do? I'm trying to put like events, photos together. This was my daughter-in-law's 30th birthday, but also at the same night they were being recognized, as far as the health staff, being recognized by our school district for all the incredible work they did during COVID and the lockdowns or the closures and all that stuff. But it was also her 30th birthday, so I took a couple of photos there. I took a trip to Monterey for a work event. I took some amazing nature photos, which that's one of the missing photos I'm going to put. But I took a couple of photos there. I actually did karaoke, so I took a picture of that based off of video. And then there was my niece's softball. What else? There was a Halloween that didn't fit in my Halloween spread, and I want to say my husband's birthday. A lot going on in October. So anyhow, again, there is that. I'm so glad I live in a world where there's Octobers. I thought that was a perfect title for this. So I'm glad because when I cut those, this is the back of the green strip, I believe. Or no, the leaf print. So when I cut the strips, I didn't even pay attention to where that little card was. And I'm so glad I ended up cutting the top of that because I wanted to use it and I didn't even think about it when I was cutting it. And the thing that's bad too, on that navy print, on the back of that were 3x4 cards, and there were a lot of journaling, like would have been good for journaling spots, but I totally butchered that or cut that paper up and used it. So again, wasn't going to worry about it. I ended up just journaling straight on the page. So when you're working on a 2-page spread, especially something like this where you want the pages to be equal when they flow through page 1 and 2. So I'm just kind of placing things now. I'm not adhering, but when I do get ready to adhere them, I am going to I adhered everything on the first page, and then I'm going to use it as a guide when I adhere on the second page. So you'll see me just kind of move it just a little bit over. I kept that first page underneath it, and so that way that blue checked is equal, and then I just put the other ones because that was the main thing, that the blue one was going to be equal. So again, I'm using multiple photos. I really like printing the smaller photos, if you want to call it wallet size. They're a little bit smaller than that. A couple of the 4x6 photos I cut down to 3x4, But you get so many more pictures when you have the smaller cut photos, and I'm really happy that I do that. Now, I just do that with my local Walgreens. You could probably do that in any photo processing place. So I do a collage on a 4x6 photo, and when you add two photos, it ends up approximately 3x4. There's always a little bit of matting, which is fine, but of course you can add more and more and more, and they would be smaller, smaller, smaller. So these are perfect for photos. You don't really need a big 4x6, especially if you're taking pictures of like food or those kind of small details. You don't necessarily need a big 4x6 photo. Now, the papers that I used are all from Echo Park, but these embellishments are from Pebbles, and it's a fall line. Technically, they don't match 100%, but they do match enough to where they coordinate. I didn't want this to be a full-on fall layout, because when you look at the photos, they really weren't like a full-on fall photos. Oh, my granddaughter's here. Yeah, you can come in, honey, but you got to be quiet. Sorry about that. The pleasure of live. I mean, I could delete all this, but I figured you guys would get a kick. So I'm going to go ahead and create some clusters. And again, I'm just moving things around. I really stuck to like the leaves and the flowers because, again, I didn't want it to be like pumpkins and things like that, because even though, again, it is in October, it's not really a fall layout where I felt the need to use those type of embellishments. I used a tab punch for some of the scraps with that blue plaid, so I can add them and within my clusters. I did that on a couple of different spots. I do end up using some enamel dots. I do a little bit of splatter, but you'll see all that as I'm doing or going through it. I want to mention that I post at least 2 videos a month. One is always scrapbooking, because that is my first love. The other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. And the command center is the name of my craft room and also my blog. Oh, bless you. And so that could be a variety of things. So I do hope you decide to hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, you can hit that notification bell, so that way you will be notified of all my videos. Again, I do at least 2 a week. I feel like I've been kind of lagging lately, but I've just been having a whole lot going on in my personal life right now. But I'm hoping to continue with the 2 layouts a week. Now, let's see, what am I doing here? Oh, I finally committed on my clusters. So if you are like me, we can make changes constantly, especially on embellishments. So a lot of times I tell myself, just put some adhesive on it and put it down, because I feel like there's never, let me see, how do I say that? Like, you're never 100% satisfied where you're going to put it until you put it, right? And honestly, if worse came to worse, you could either try to remove it or put something on top of it. So I'm not afraid of a commitment, I guess, when you say things like that. So when I use the liquid glue, I do try to use an acrylic block or something to hold it down, just to make sure that it adheres onto the paper or whatever it is that I'm adhering it to. So on this side, I knew I wanted to do a cluster, and originally I had it over those 2 little pictures, but then I thought I kind of wanted to incorporate that title piece to it. So that's why I kind of just have it kind of trailing down below and around, if that makes sense. And you'll see how I do that. But I'm basically just stacking the flowers and leaves. Again, that little tab that I cut out. And then you'll see at the end with the photos, when you see the actual photos or the complete photos, that I did add an enamel dots. I don't know if I show that. So that little banner thing I really wanted to use, but it says something like, have a great day. Well, I wasn't wishing anybody to have a great day. So I don't use it there, but I'll use it later, and you'll see. So I cut off the half, and then I just kind of covered that half of the banner with one of those die cuts, and I was really happy with that, because I really wanted to use that. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, this gold washi was just laying there on my desk. Thought, you know what? Why not? Gold is very fall. It's got definitely a brown orangish shade. So I decided to add that, and that really finishes off my gold washi. Say hi. Just say hi. Live audience, folks. So here's what I was talking about. I really wanted to use this because it really was a great day when we were in Monterey. Now, again, I went for a work event, but we went down a little bit early, so we had time to do some sightseeing in Monterey. So beautiful, and I did take some amazing pictures. So I'm glad that I was able to use that little banner thing, and it really does add something to the page, color as well as more words and things like that. And let me think. Well, I have a lot going on this page. Let's see. Oh, another thing I guess I could talk about is most of my videos, and I just noticed, probably with the exception of this one, I try to make them about 10 minutes. And the reason why I do that is, I don't know about you, but me, I just feel like sometimes it's just too much going on, or like I'm hearing too much. Like I don't need to watch like it, glue dry, or, watch somebody adhere all their photos. So I usually try to cut that part off. And I just try to film like when I'm actually doing something new. So like in that case, you saw me start journaling, but then instead of you watching me journal the entire thing, I kind of stop it, and then now it's done. Wow, magic. The magic of film, right? One thing I always do is I use a fine tip pen, and I go around. Okay, see you later. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, a fine tip pen to do a border around like the white edges. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are a follower of mine or you're a subscriber, you probably notice I do this at least 8 out of 10 times. I mean, but almost every time I wait till the very end to do it instead of doing it initially. It's silly. But that's my layout. You'll see, like I said, there's an empty spot there in the top right, but I will fill that as soon as I print that photo. But I hope you like this. Again, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.